Is
Man,
mayonnaise an instrument? Oh,
Hello,
continue.
and welcome back to the Gamer's Tale. I'm Trent Gander. I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. We are going to continue our Forging the Onyx campaign tonight. I had horrible internet issues for the last 2 days, and I was really in doubt of being able to do this. So last time we left off, the party had arrived within the Oasis and had engaged in a series of conflicts with some local street gangs who were tied to the cult of Saronicus that they've been researching into. After this, they were temporarily imprisoned within the main citadel of the town of Hilat, and were summarily required by Sir Algrim, with the aid of Isthras Toadspore, to get out of the city and begin paving the way for Sir Algrim's arrival into the Oasis. While doing so, Thaddeus Sweet Tea's package that they've been carrying this entire time was handed off to its intended receiver, who also just happened to play into helping them get assistance in gaining more support within the Oasis for Sir Algrim's party. With a flurry of shopping and various other minor adventures, they decided to hole up within one of the local hotels while Jowan started crafting a pair of rings of protection for himself in order to save him from becoming a pincushion like most wizards. There, at the beginning of that process.
So I do have a question about that. Are we waiting for him to make the whole thing, or could he do this like while we're traveling?
My plan for this was that he was going to at least start the process for a couple of things, and you guys were going to have adventures in the city while he's doing that to an extent, because obviously you're not just going to sit in a hotel room for 6 days.
What?
Well, no, I get that. I wanted to go ahead and get a start on finding Jordan Fairfax.
Okay.
I mean, if this is something that could be done on the road, I think that'd be the most beneficial.
Okay. I'll say, yeah, he could do it on the road.
Are we missing?
If he's okay with that.
Yeah,
Nick,
obviously.
we're missing Bracht, the barbarian.
Oh.
God damn it, Barb.
Yeah, let me.
But I barely
I'm just
know
checking
any
my messages.
Barbaras.
You know, if I didn't hog these 2 rings, I could take like one for myself. So I use the rest of the materials, so we'd have like one for each.
No, it's fine. I mean, go ahead and keep them.
I'm fine with you taking the rings to hog them. As far as that goes, we can go to a gem shop or a metallurgy shop and get some more
Okay.
supplies. I mean, yeah.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
Well, I
So
know.
we were-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so you said we were going to be on the road to try to get a jump on finding Jordan Fairfax.
Yeah. All I
Right?
know.
Okay.
All I know about him is that he's east of Oasis.
Okay. You also have a locket that has a minor image of him, so you'll be able to recognize him on sight.
If no one's got any qualms about it, because I assume it's like morning time. We've stayed the night at least once, and now it's morning.
Yeah. Yeah, we can say it's probably about 8 a.m. Starting to get a bit warm.
If no one has any qualms about it, I was thinking that we could just leave my guys here, my 3 retainers, and see if they can find out anything that they can find out for us about anything going on politically wise, and that we'd start heading east and try and pick up the trail.
So
of Jordan.
you charge your retainers with this task, and you prepare the wagons and such that you had brought with you from Hialat, and you set off to the east of the Oasis. Which means I have to drag you to another map. Da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right, and north is
Okay,
top,
so-
south is bottom.
As always, I try to keep consistency in my maps that way.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
It gets confusing otherwise. I'm like, which side is this?
You could always put a little compass rose down there.
So
Yeah.
we're at the port hill, or
No, we're at the Oasis right here.
You are in the
oh, we're already there. Okay.
that looks like a bad interpretation of Boo from Mario Brothers.
Right. Okay.
Hey, we have some mounts. I just summoned a black bear, giant hyena, and a tiger.
Well, we have carts.
Nice.
Screw the cart. I'm riding the frickin' tiger.
How heavy are
We
you?
all have our lusts.
The tiger is large size. I'm good.
That's
At least I think it's large.
not
I can turn into
necessarily.
one so I can check.
It's more about your weight, I think.
It's more about your weight than your size.
Fred is slightly offended.
Does this make him look slimmer? So you proceed a couple days into the desert, not knowing where to go, just following the sparsely marked roads that run throughout there. More of trails.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone in the party have any kind of divination magic?
I was just thinking about that. I have speak with animals, animal messenger, locate animals and plants. I don't think that would work on a person. Nope.
I would have been able to do. What
Wait,
the heck was it?
do we know anything he would have on his person?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
we would because I have that image of him.
I have locate object,
I
but
chose
it's only
to
1,000 feet.
for my cantrips that for my book of ancient secrets. I chose find familiar as one of them.
I don't think that'll help us.
I don't think you can find him as a familiar.
What
I
exactly were you?
didn't. He asked if any one of us had any divination magic.
Oh, divination. Okay.
I can conjure animals to help us search.
I thought about doing the same thing, even though like I wouldn't know how to tell my familiar like what to look for.
Well, we have that image of him.
Yeah, I mean that's all I got. So
We do we have access to third level spells? We do, don't we?
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Is there one in particular you're wondering about?
I was just looking. Ooh. Can you cast scrying?
I think that's a spell I can learn, but I think that's a higher level.
No, scrying's a 5th level spell. I mean, not fifth level, 3rd level. Excuse me.
I don't see it on my list. It should be there though. Can't
Is that a warlock spell? Hold on.
Yeah, it's a warlock
can't
spell.
druid scry?
Oh crap! I don't think I picked that one because I picked revivify as my 3rd level spell, so I would have to get like 2 more levels before I picked another one. I think it is.
That's just as useful.
I can summon 8 challenge rating 1/4 or lower creatures.
Squirrels, it is.
Well, I'm looking at what creatures are a quarter.
Let me
I'm
Kurt.
on D&D Beyond right now. I
Yes.
can summon a axe beak mounts.
I don't think that'll be very useful at this moment, but it's something for us to think about. Trent,
Forever stranded somewhere.
I remember my
Yes.
amulet pulling me in the direction of the sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could I
Right now.
ask the amulet to take me to Jordan Fairfax?
Yes, you could.
Okay. I'm going to ask it. Does it do anything?
does not.
Okay, it was worth a shot. Let me look through my inventory, see if there's anything useful.
Okay, so what these animals would be able to do, I could summon 8 giant owls. They can go in all different directions searching for, and we can show them the minor image or whatever it is of the guy to keep an eye out for him. They can go scout for a half hour and then come back to us because the spell only lasts an hour.
I like that idea.
What's the owl's flying speed?
Let me check. Damn, they're large. We could ride those owls.
Potentially.
Well, you probably couldn't. You have too much armor.
What's their flying speed?
That's what I'm checking. 60 feet.
I think it's 60 feet.
You've got a plus 5%.
The only reason why I know the speed. The only reason why I know the speed of an owl is that we had a celestial owl and a druid's owl that got murderized in my 3.5 campaign.
So
Twice.
in theory, they could travel 15,000 feet in those 30 minutes.
15,000.
Which is slightly more than my locate object can do.
So like 2 2.2 miles or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So I think that's a good option for us. We'll kind of stop on the side of the road and hold out, let them go scout and come back to us, and see if they can find out anything. And it's not specifically just looking for Jordan. Let's look for any kinds of signs of life.
Footprints, camp, smoke, discarded packages, etc., etc.
Yeah, anything that could point us in a direction other than east.
Okay, so I'm going to summon 8. Ooh, I could also do pteranodons. That's cool.
We know it's east in general, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you really only need maybe 3?
Well,
Northeast, east, and southeast.
I could send them all in that direction, and that would just make it that much easier for us to. Much easier to find them.
Let's give that a shot.
Okay.
Okay, so I summon 8 giant owls. They are all larger than us.
They all kind of horn in around you.
And I ask for the amulet with the image. Someone give it to me.
Yeah, I have it. I'll give it to them.
Okay. I show them all the image, and I tell them, go and search the desert in generally the direction we're going. What is it, east?
In an eastern direction.
Search for this individual east. Come back in half an hour and report what you find.
Or signs of life.
Or signs of life.
Let's do 25 minutes, because if they travel 30 minutes and get back 30 minutes, that's the full hour.
Oh, right.
Tread
So they
wouldn't
wouldn't,
think of that.
so they wouldn't be able to say anything before they desummon themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot about that.
We'll do 25 minutes out, 25 minutes back, looking for that person or signs of life.
Okay. The owls take to the sky in a large sound of wings beating against the air. The 25 minutes passes back, and you see deep in the distant sky the owls coming back as large harbingers of death. They land and they communicate to you that there is at least signs of one large moving camp to the east, roughly northeast of your position currently.
Okay.
How far out? How far away do they look?
How far out?
Yeah, how far? I'd have them ask the owls.
How
How
mark
far
roughly
away?
where you are currently. on the map where that square is. And the area, marking another one with the orange square, it is relatively close
Okay.
to the northeast in the orange square.
All right.
So maybe,
Go ahead.
maybe 100 feet.
15,000.
They see farther than where they were able to go in that time and make it back.
So a couple miles.
Ish.
Okay. Let's get back in the wagons and head that direction.
So how far away is that?
It's a few miles.
A few-
Never mind. Wait a minute. He's gone. He dropped out. Ty, you still here?
Oh yeah,
Ty?
his picture thing's gone.
Ty.
Huh.
I think they lost internet.
Yep.
Crap.
Ty. Oh, yeah, they lost internet.
I'm checking Facebook just to.
No, they're in Thailand.
Huh.
I just messaged them in the Facebook group.
Damn. Did you say 15 miles or a few miles?
It would be like a few, like probably like 3
3.
miles, give or take.
Okay.
Okay, Ty's back. Trent should be back on in just a minute then.
Yep.
Welcome back to the Gamer's Tale.
Well, so it's roughly about a mile or two from you. You'd be easily be able to get there within a day.
How many miles you said? Should only be like 3, maybe 4.
It's a couple of miles.
Okay. Yeah, let's load up the wagons, start heading that direction.
Okay, so as you proceed to the northeast of your location, the wind starts to pick up. And you can see kind of some rolling dunes in the distance.
Oh, damn.
As you approach, you begin to be able to see the outlines of various tents, different colors. Some of them are more ornate, some of them are white, some of them are different colors, striped, and all sorts of things. In the distance and farther out, you can see what appears to be a large wall of sand, just slowly starting to push forward, and the wind begins to pick up more.
How far out is it?
How far is it?
Mm-hmm.
The wall.
Just the wall is just on the edge of the horizon, but still seems to be moving towards you.
Okay. Could we make it to the campsite before?
Definitely.
All right, let's go ahead and push to the campsite, and we'll hunker down there.
Okay. As you get closer to the camp, the wind, of course, picks up more, and you're greeted by several tribesmen who are armed. Are kind of alarmed at people coming up to them on carriages. Meanwhile, a sandstorm is starting to push in towards them.
I'll hold up my hands and friends. We just seek shelter.
They kind of nod and they usher you into one of the nearby tents, which is larger than the rest. You assume this is to be a chieftain's tent to have him, look you over, and they take care of your horses and things like that to put them under protective shelter.
Okay. All right. Once we get in, I kind of just I'd like to take kind of survey of the room.
Okay. It's partially furnished. There's not obviously it needs to be mobile. There's many decorative pillows and things like that, and places internally walled off areas, and there's a sitting area. And there are a couple people sitting there, one of which is obviously the leader of this little entourage, and several of his lieutenants and important guests.
I will. Are they currently talking? Or are they kind of just looking at us?
Some of them are kind of holding a conversation as you come in, but the leader is just kind of sitting there.
No.
I'll eat them. Whatever.
I'm so sorry.
Completely fine. Life happens. I just dropped off for like 5 minutes.
That's all I wanted to do.
Hey.
I felt rude. I saw you and I wanted to listen to say hi. It's not like I work for you every day of my life.
Yeah, no.
Holy Christ.
So sorry.
So okay.
That's fine.
So
they're holding a conversation.
Some of them are holding a conversation. The one who seems to be the most important is just kind of sitting there watching everyone, and of course you as you enter.
Okay. As I enter, are there any guards there to check me or anything like that?
There are a couple of guards posted out there, but most of them are not by the front of the tents. A couple of them are by the back, and other ones are just kind of off to the side.
I'd like to approach at a respectable distance, give a small polite bow, and thank him for taking us in, and ask him if he's seen anyone come by these parts before us recently.
He greets you in the traditional manner, and he states that there is none that there are no other people besides those who travel with them that have passed through this part of the desert. Although they had seen in the distance some rather large bird-like creatures on the horizon within the last hour or two.
That was us. Yeah, sorry. I'd like to pull out the amulet and show him the picture of Jordan Fairfax. I'm like, you sure you haven't seen this guy?
He looks at it, but yes, he's traveling with us.
Okay. Where is he?
He's in his tent. I can send for him as the storm is getting approaching. Claps his hands and motions one of the guards to go fetch him, which he does with great speed. couple of minutes. The wind picks up more, but the tent is securely lashed down. The tent flaps open, and a man slightly scruffier than he does look in his picture. He's getting a bit of stubble. He hasn't shaved in a couple of days, it looks like. Comes in. Says, "You sent for me?"
Yes. Are you Jordan Fairfax,
That I am, yes.
son of Councilman Fairfax in the Oasis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. I have some business to discuss with you.
What kind of business?
Nothing serious. Um, it seems your father has become a little worried about you disappearing as you did. And I have been charged with one of two options, which I will leave to you. The first one is that you come back with us. That is the preferred choice. The second choice is that we that you provide us with some proof of life. So this
Well,
could be in the form of, preferably in the form of a letter of some type, written by your own hand, and preferably with maybe some kind of seal that you have to show that it is you for authenticity.
understandable, and of course, I must ensure that you were indeed sent by my father. Perhaps you have a copy of his seal.
I do not have a copy of his seal. This was something that he wanted done quietly, as he didn't want any of his political opponents um, trying to take advantage of this. One moment.
Etc. Yeah.
Tread's just in the background with distraction. Oh, 2 tigers?
Let's hope this tent is big enough for the lot of us.
Oh, it's definitely big. This is like one of those. Think of a circus tent that's been sunk into the ground, and that's what you have.
Oh, so this is huge.
As
Massive.
Tread
This is
is,
Tigers
very
and a
large.
as Tread is summoning tigers and shit, I'm just gonna look and like maybe now is not the appropriate time.
Oh, wait, elks. 2 elks and a panther.
The heads of this thing are just kind of clapping like this is amazing show. You are a very good entertainer, Mr. Lizard Man Reptile.
Tread Scala.
Tread Scala. You're very entertaining. We are so glad to have you here.
Okay, maybe you should keep that going then.
May we pet some of them?
Go for it. I lean over to
Okay.
one of the party mates. What is entertaining?
Just keep doing it. If you have anything that's, you know what? Turn into an animal yourself.
A couple of the higher ranking ones come up and they kind of just like pat the elk's neck like he would a horse, and another one just kind of pets the panther.
I tell them to be nice.
Okay.
Seeing this, the panther just kind of rubs up against him like he's an enormous cat, just like an enormous house cat.
I shall dub him.
The man is very amused by this. You see, Jordan Fairfax is rather kind of puzzled. He says, "My father would not have sent an individual without some sort of sign that he had indeed sent him."
Well,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
maybe I can rectify this situation, sir. I'll produce the amulet and say, now, we were hired indirectly by Councilman Fairfax by a gentleman named Daruna. I'm sure you know of him.
You see just kind of a small shadow cross over his face with the mention of Daruna.
Insight.
You, with your role, you notice that he is very concerned by the mention of this individual's name, and he seems to be familiar with it and not in a positive light.
I can tell by your expression that you're not a fan of Councilman Darunas, but he was worried about your well-being and your father's well-being as well. And I'll produce the writ. I won't open it or anything like this. Now, this is Councilman Darunas' signature, and that signature seal. I'll put it back away. This is an amulet he gave us with an image of you. All we ask is a letter, saying that you are alive and where you are traveling to and such, for us to deliver to your father, Councilman Fairfax.
Kind of thinks a little bit, and then he says, "I will grant you a letter, and I will indeed mark it in such a way that my father will know that I am safe and alive. But I cannot return to you. My work here is too important. I'm researching into."
Oh, I was about to ask that.
Hmm?
I was about to ask that.
I'm researching into several of the ancient ruins that are hidden out here in the desert. I believe they hold important information not only into our country's history or the history of the kingdom, but also into the ancient magics that may have been used to create them. Fascinating research.
Indeed, it is.
It seems quite dangerous, sir. Do you go unguarded?
Oh no, I've served quite a while within one of the militaries. I've even reached the rank of captain within several of the units that I've been a part of. But
And then I will.
this is one of the reasons why I travel with these fine gentlemen. He indicates the tribesmen around here, and it's also of great concern to me that you are, in fact, working with Daruna. You do not seem as if you are from here.
At that point, I'll just hold up my hand. I will remove my white cloak. I'll remove my head wrap. And I'll introduce myself formally as Sir Fredrick von Steuben of the House of Lond. I serve alongside Sir Algrim.
That explains your unfamiliarness, your unfamiliarity with the situations. Daruna, my father and I have suspected that he has been funding several of the tribal wars within the area, specifically against individuals such as my associates. And while he talks words of peace within the council, he is in fact funding war outside of the confines of the Oasis and the major cities.
To what end?
That we do not know. We're assuming is to expand the kingdom's hold upon the tribesmen and bring them underneath their purview.
Okay.
That, and he makes we assume he makes a sizable profit from the sale of arms.
With this newfound knowledge, I will have to address this situation with Sir Algrim when he arrives. We had been invited here by the king to investigate issues with, I don't know if you've heard of a group named Saronicus.
I have heard of rumors about them, but they seem to have been becoming plentiful before I left. I have been on my digs and my travel for several months. So many that I'm starting to lose count.
I think if there's anything else. Should you need any assistance or further guard, we will say. Or further guard, you only need to send it for us, and we will come to your aid. We just ask a favor in turn when the time comes. Nothing serious, perhaps maybe a kind word to your father about our mission.
I will include in my letter favorable disposition toward you for my father to have.
Thank you.
I, of course, this is the way of the desert. A favor for a favor. Feel free to ask with any information. I, however, am fully prepared for life within the desert. I have been doing this for quite some time, and I have full faith in my host. And he indicates, of course, the leader of the tribe, my host's protection.
Where are your keys?
Hmm.
Where are your keys?
And
Okay.
I'll thank him, and I will say that when the storm passes or at dawn, whichever comes first, we will depart, and I will reach out to your father with this letter instead of Councilman Daruna, who was the original intended receiver. He wished to deliver that to your father himself. But seeing as how the situation with Daruna is a little more complicated and twisted, I will deliver it to your father, and will attempt to distance myself from Daruna to make things easier. Is there any other councilmen that you could think of that are more favorable than Daruna, or maybe more in line with your father?
He thinks a little bit. Says, to be honest, they're all, except for my father, they're all a bag of snakes, all for their own interest. I would suggest you continue under the ruse of working with Daruna. If you wish to remain within, it's better to be within his favor than it is to be outside of it. I cannot think what he actually would want to achieve with gaining my father's trust, but it's obviously not going to be beneficial to anyone but himself.
Then might I suggest you write a second letter, a decoy letter, for me to deliver to Councilman Daruna. Perhaps a little more general, saying that you're doing digs in the ruins. Don't mention who you're traveling with, and don't mention your next stop. Just that you are well and safe.
This was what I was going to put in within my first letter, but I shall write a second letter with more detail for my father. I should probably get on that, as you hear the wind is starting to pick up quite significantly, as there's not much else to do this evening, as the winds are keeping us from traveling any further this day. He sits down and he begins to pen the letter. Because then this is going to be extremely boring. We're going to fast forward to the next day. The winds have died down. Triscala, you hear what sound, despite the sound of the wind, you hear the distant sound of what appears to be a bell a couple of times during the night.
Is it perhaps
And,
cowbell?
It is perhaps cowbell. In the morning, the landscape is significantly changed as dunes are closer and more around the camp, and of course, large amount of sand was moved. Jordan Fairfax hands you a pair of letters indicating which one is for Daruna and which one is for his father.
Okay. I will make sure to take note of that and separate them appropriately. And before leaving, I would like to thank the leader. I never got a title for him or a name. Thank him for his hospitality, and I'll present him with one of the art pieces, a nice looking one, as thanks.
Okay. He takes it graciously and says that you are welcome within his tribes and their allies' encampments.
And could I get a name for that?
I do not have one.
Oh, on the spot. Come on.
Okay.
Triskadelion.
He is the Sheikh of Caral.
I'm sorry, of what?
Caral, Caral.
Okay. I assume that's the tribe, Corral tribe.
The Caral tribe, yes.
I was
We
going
all
to
make
say
notes.
the Corral tribe.
Yes.
Today's the 13th, ain't it?
Today's the 13th. And with that, I will wrap myself back up with my head wrap and my cloak thing, and we will depart.
Before
Over there.
before you head off, he mentions that one of their major tribes that they are allied with is the Sahan or the Saham tribe.
Saham.
Yes, Saham.
Okay.
And who is their leader?
The leader of the Saham tribe,
Is the Sheik of Saram?
Al Shahi Saham.
I'm just gonna write Sheik of Saham.
Al Shahi. Okay.
I know from personal experience there are a lot of other things added in there that you don't hear.
So I think we should come back eventually.
Oh, definitely, those are gonna be useful allies.
Well, I mean about the technology and or magic that might be of use to my village.
Well, if they have need of us,
I didn't say technology.
No, but he said like magic and history, either of which could be
Mhm.
quite useful.
Anyway, all right, let's head back to town.
Okay. You travel back. It takes a couple of days. You get in. I'm going to need everyone to roll a perception check as you enter the city.
What now?
Perception.
check.
Oh, from
21.
everyone or just him?
Everyone.
Oh, everyone. Okay, hold up. Perception. I keep forgetting that this is actually alphabetical.
Okay.
Sadly. Oh,
So, Tredskala and Fredrick, you notice there is a small boy, probably just getting into his teenage years. He appears to be watching you. He has a long, kind of moderately multicolored clothing on, and he also has a turban. His face is uncovered.
I will stop
He
the
appears to
cart.
be watching you.
I will stop the cart and wave him over.
He comes over
Why are you watching us?
because you're interesting.
What makes
He
us
kind of coughs a
interesting?
little bit. You'll find out later. He starts to kind of back up.
I'll pull a gold coin out. What makes us interesting?
He smiles a little. He smiles like he's a lot older than he actually is, and you'll find out. He starts again walking back toward the crowd.
I'll put it away, Saronicus.
I thought he could have been a changeling.
He's definitely with Saronicus. No child turns down free gold.
This is
By the way,
fantastic from my perspective.
I apparently saw nothing.
Well, the sky is probably like half that. He's probably comes up to your chest, so he's not like this huge kid.
And it's not necessarily that you didn't see anything, it's
He's-
that you didn't notice him staring us down.
Oh, so he's like maybe a preteen. He's not like 5.
Yeah, I said he's getting into the teenage years.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I missed that. Or
All right, let's go back and find Councilman Daruna.
Okay, so you make it back to Daruna's offices and moderate home as well. I just need just a quick notion. You do know you're muted, right, Tredskala?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. We've had a couple of times. It's like, I've been trying to say things, but I forgot that I muted myself.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Okay.
A little distracted at the moment.
It's all right.
You make it in. Naki is again sitting at his receptionist's desk, for lack of a better term.
Is Daruna in?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Is he readily available?
I believe so. He checks the itinerary. He doesn't have anything going on currently. It's getting a little bit more towards evening, so
Okay.
things are starting to wind down.
All right. Then I'd ask him to show us to his quarters so that we might finish
Okay.
some business.
He brings you upstairs, the same room, and knocks. You hear Daruna come in. He opens the door, announces you, and again proceeds to leave and close the doors behind you.
Courteous little bow because he is a councilman. He holds title and stature. I will say that went very well. We found him. And we have a letter for you as requested, proof of life. He was a little difficult to find, but we were able to locate him quite easily after we got on the right path.
Good.
You're
You
welcome.
see that he's in his he's in like super relaxed mode, despite the fact that he seems a bit soured by this. He's got a towel around his neck. He's actually shirtless. He's got his robes tied around, so he's covered, but he's not like you're walking in on him taking a bath. So thank you. May I interest you in some refreshments after your hard journey?
I'll politely put up a hand. No, thank you at this moment.
He
just ask that
pours
you-
himself up.
I just ask that you remember this and call upon us if you need any further assistance with anything.
And yes, he swirls a nice wine in his glass and says, "Now, may I have the letter?"
I'll produce it and hand it to him.
He sips on his wine as he takes it and says, you see him brace himself on the table. Next to him, the letter crunched in his hand. He starts to totter a little bit, and then collapses on the floor.
Die, heal him.
I can restore him. Yeah, healing touch.
Try
One.
that.
I'll do that. That's 1 hit point.
I'd like to figure out what's going on.
Somebody do a medicine check. Can somebody who does medicine better than me do a medicine check?
Chotel, you notice that he appears to be having a bit of froth around his mouth, and he appears to be dying from some sort of poisoning.
Dread, do you have anti-poison?
I say this. I don't think I prepared it.
He starts to kind of convulse on the ground.
I will call for Naki immediately.
Oh, I have my herbalism kit. I would have stuff for this.
I've got false life, but
I don't know what I would have to do, but I have at least the materials to be able to make something for this.
Do you have,
if not having already made it?
Do you have protection from poison?
I did not prepare. I did not specify that I prepared it, and it's not on the list I had prepared.
Okay. Well, I don't know then.
Is this guy like about to die now, or?
I'd like to take.
I'd
like to take materials from my herbalism kit and all the ridiculous amounts of materials I got to make something like makeshift to try to fix this.
Okay.
Can I make like a check?
I have called for
Yes.
not.
Naki, you can hear Naki just burst open the door, and he sees his employer on the ground, convulsing as the lizard man goes up to him and starts pulling things from a sack.
Could we give him healing potion or?
No, don't waste
Make
healing potion.
it would probably be a medicine check again.
Okay. Where'd it
Return to
go?
Naki. His wine is poisoned. It was not us.
Despite your efforts, you use a decent amount of your herbs, but it doesn't seem to be having any effect. He seems to be too far gone at this moment. You're just kind of slowing it down just a little bit.
Should I use the false life or what?
No, that's not going to fix him.
Well, not
If
permanently, but
I don't mean to be a callous schlub here, but if he dies, if I were to cast Revivify, then he would live and the poison would be gone. Am I right or wrong on that?
Can I tell how the poison was introduced?
Make another medicine check.
Crap.
It is one of life's greatest mysteries.
I'm going to say it's probably the wine, guys.
Did Councilman Druna have gloves when he touched the letter?
No.
Well, here's the thing, though. I've been carrying and messing with the letter. I don't wear gloves.
And you don't have gloves either.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Did you touch the wax on the letter?
I've touched the whole letter. It's
Okay. So
There's no place that the letter has not been touched by Fredrick.
I mean, it's been in my hands.
and up against your body during your travels here.
There's no
Probably
place
not there.
that Fredrick hasn't been touched by the letter either.
Okay, so let's go over this. He was in the bath, or almost practically was in the bath. He had a drink.
Yeah, let's check
I
out
had a
that drink.
towel.
Okay, guys. It's the wine. I'm
Only
telling
one
you.
way to find out.
I'm not drinking it.
He looks exceedingly worried, and he goes over to the alcohol rack and he just grabs one of the wine bottles and looks like he's about to pour himself a drink.
Naki, stop.
Wait, this guy's almost dead.
No.
I'd like to look at the alcohol to see if it's poisoned. Would that also be medicine?
There's yeah. That'd be another medicine check.
Jesus Christ.
It seems like there might be something. The wine looks wine-like. There might be something in it. You don't know. It could be dregs. It could be something else.
Ty. Oh, real quick. Is Councilman Daruna dead yet?
Yes, he is.
All right, Ty. Cast Revivify on him.
Okay, I cast Revivify on Councilman Daruna.
Okay. Refresh my memory exactly what Revivify does.
Touch a creature that has died within the last minute. That creature returns to life with 1 hit point. If they died of old age, it won't work, and it won't restore any body parts he's missing.
Okay.
If he's missing.
He revives. And he's looking from the floor.
All right, healing hands.
I'll do another point of healing hands on him, so we're down to 3 for the day, mostly for my benefit there. All right. So now he's got 2 hit points if he were one of us.
I will pull him up
Okay.
and lift him up and do not drink the wine. Someone is trying to kill you.
As you touch him and bring him up and tell him that, he starts to kind of start convulsing again. Whatever is still in his system is still in his system, and it's not letting go.
Damn.
Is he dead again?
He's getting there.
Does anybody have like some kind of poison purge spell?
No, we already tried
Did you
that.
just randomly create and destroy water?
I was trying to look at it. I accidentally clicked it. I was trying to figure out if I could finagle it in a way that I could destroy the liquid, like the poison. I don't know. It wouldn't work out the way I wanted. I'll just
You might have a minute or two to talk to him before he succumbs again.
Dorina, who are your enemies? Hello?
Yeah?
I said, Dorina, who are your enemies?
Many. Mostly the
Give
king
me the one-
recently.
Give me the ones who want you dead.
Sronicus. King. I don't know. It's all going black.
It's okay. And I will lay him gently back down on the floor and just go quietly.
His eyes this time braces for it and then just relaxes.
Okay. I'll turn to Naki. Naki, look at me.
wait a second.
Yeah.
How much time would this take? Like everything that's been happening?
5-ish minutes.
Damn. I was gonna say I could ritual cast feign death, and while he's not really dead, he is unaffected by poison or disease. But I wouldn't have had enough time to do that.
Now you have Naki's attention.
Destroy all the wine. Don't drink it. Destroy it. I have number 2. It was not us. It was the wine. The wine is poisoned. Number 3. Where is Councilman Fairfax?
Councilman Fairfax is. Remember correctly, I said that this was somewhere between the Colosseum and the palace.
Mm-hmm.
Fairfax would be in the southeast part of the city in his offices. First part, I can't really do that for the wine. I'd know somebody who might be able to identify what killed him.
Okay.
Then for who?
Then you need to, notify whoever needs to be notified, get it identified, and we're going to go see Councilman Fairfax.
Okay. He rings a little bell, and
out the door, leaving.
Okay.
All right, I gotta have a smoke.
Okay.
I'll pop up for a bit and be back soon.
Yeah, you can take that time to catch Nick up on this. I have to use the bathroom again, so I will be back.
Okay. We went in the desert. We found Jordan Fairfax. Realized that Daruna is a dirty guy. Came back.
Who's a dirty guy?
Daruna.
Councilman who gave us the mission to go find the kid.
Yep.
He's a dirty guy. He delivered the fake letter to Daruna. Daruna drank some wine. Daruna is dead. We're going to go find Councilman Fairfax. We've also potentially made allies of the Sheik of Corral of the Corral tribe, who's also allies with the Sheik of Shaham, who's the Sheik of the Shahan tribe.
And the interesting thing about it is, not to toot my own horn, but the fact that I cast Vivify on him and he was raised to life after dying did squat to actually purge the poison, and he kicked it again, sadly enough.
Well, I mean,
that was a 3rd level spell slot. No, just kidding.
Someone dead. The DM will have them dead.
I'm just interested how he's gonna, do this kind of a thing. I'm genuinely curious, because I thought after I slapped him awake, metaphorically, the poison would be gone.
I mean, technically, in the wording, it's not. I mean, if we had like restoration or true resurrection, yes. But we don't. And so technically, he would still die.
I would have been able to pick Lesser Restoration to the 2nd level spell for a Celestial Patron Warlock. But of course, I didn't pick that one.
Oh. There's always next time.
Yep. Next level.
How much time has passed?
It's been a couple days, hasn't it?
Yeah, at least like 4.
Are we going to petition the DM so that Brock has taken a major nap to remove his level of exhaustion?
A regular rest will do that.
Okay, but he
Quite
hasn't
literally,
taken
you've
the
been
regular
doing this
rest,
for like
though.
6 days.
Oh, okay, cool.
Why was I exhausted?
Rage.
I'll be back in a bit.
When did I rage last round?
Just
He
the last
wouldn't have-
combat.
He wouldn't have been exhausted then.
Sorry, I thought we stopped at an inn.
We did.
Oh. Yeah. The events of you having combat, you would not have been exhausted because it took 3 days to travel from Hilat to the Oasis, and that would when you have taken a long rest.
Trying to think of ways we might have been able to save him. Too many ideas.
I'll just tell you this now. There was no way.
Damn.
How dare
Not
you try
even-
to foil a major plot point?
Not even a nat 20 medicine check.
I would have said I set the DC for that as 25.
Well, I could not have broken that then.
Someone needs to turn off the vibrator.
That is and always will be Nick.
I'll be right back, guys.
Because it ain't no lie. Baby, bye, bye, bye. Yeah, there's just this episode's gonna be more narrative driven.
I'm fine with that.
I had planned on getting up a combat scenario ready, but yeah, that was not really available to me. What have you summoned this time?
I believe 2 weasels and... What's number 3? I have the list. 2 weasels and a badger.
Awesome. I think one of my spells I put in my book eventually should be Speak with Animals.
I have that.
Why?
I can teach that to you.
We should do that.
The weasels' names are Fred and George, and the badger's name is Huffles.
Okay.
Huffles.
That must mean something.
Harry Potter references.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I was going to say that means something, but not to me, unfortunately, for this conversation.
I was waiting to summon. I really wanted to get a badger and a giant badger, because I decided the name for the badger is Huffles, and the giant badger is Puffles.
Hufflepuff.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So is this guy dead yet, or what?
Yeah, he's dead
He is
again.
dead. He's very dead.
He's dead for good this time.
Just wait until we learn resurrection.
True resurrection.
Oh, so that would have cleansed him of the disease after we slapped him awake, huh?
Y'all ever
Essentially.
hear the Powerwolf song "Resurrection" by Erection?
Nope.
No, but it sounds funny.
It is funny.
All right. Let's go find Councilman Fairfax.
And quiz him.
Oh no, I
Oh,
don't.
side note: Did you listen to those songs that are? Steven?
I have not yet. I've been very busy.
Yeah,
I'm very busy.
I just wanted to know.
I haven't had a chance. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, real quick. I'm sorry. I know everyone's leaving, but sorry.
It's all right. It's fine.
Well, we usually take about a 10-minute break now, anyway. So,
Okay.
so you're wearing the weasels like bad fur boa, Fitzgala?
Yeah, either that or no. They're just gonna be like running around on me, like just vertically up and down, chasing each other.
Nice.
And then they're occasionally gonna go up to the badger, which is sitting on top of my head, and they're gonna reach in with their little noses and try to sniff him, and he's gonna go like and scare him off.
Okay. All right.
Oh
Right.
my
So, Councilman Fairfax.
Hey. All right. Oh man, that's the other.
Is that for
That's
real?
my other. What?
The chicken sneaking into somebody's house and riding the robotic vacuum?
Probably.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just checking my my reused. The point of reference, I've been using the wrong name because I have reused these characters. The son is actually Benjamin. The father is actually Jordan. So
So
Either
we
way,
were looking
that's
for
a fault of
Benjamin
mine.
Fairfax.
No, you were looking for Benjamin Fairfax. He was
Yeah.
the one you met in the desert.
Okay.
It's just that things, because it was in my other notebook, the 5 that I have for D&D,
The book of notes.
the book of notes. You can use this item, special item, to record important information that you encounter in your adventures.
That's good.
As long as you hold this book, it functions as the keen mind feat.
Yes.
That's good.
Okay. So, I'm assuming you guys are proceeding to Jordan Fairfax's offices.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so you it's a similar setup. It's a little bit different in the decor. You see, there's kind of a standardization. You're greeted by a page. Hello.
Yes, hello. We're here to see Councilman Fairfax. I understand we don't have an appointment. There is some urgent matter to discuss with him.
May I inquire as to what matter?
It revolves around his son Benjamin.
Understandable. I will let him know that. Who are you again?
Fredrick.
One Fredrick is here with information dealing with his son. All right. He goes up. He goes up the stairs. He does not cough. And you see, he comes back down and says, "Mr. Fairfax will see you now," and leads you up. Similar
Or will he cast
process
invisibility?
Okay.
I'm joking.
It just reminds me of the first real adventure that we saw with Scanlan in campaign 1 of Critical Role. Anyway, so You were led in, instead of a double set of double doors, this is a single door. You're led into a side office, and it's a rather peppery gray individual is sitting behind a desk, nicely dressed, a slightly different outfit than what you normally see around here, much more foreign style. He is sitting there, and he looks up from the book that he was reading. This is, good evening. How may I help you, gentlemen?
Good evening, Councilman. I am Sir Fredrick von Struben. I have a bit of news for you, quite a bit, actually. First is that your son is perfectly fine, so sorry to alarm you. And I'll produce a letter for him. This is from him, and hand it to him.
He takes it.
Secondly, news will find you soon, but Councilman Daruna has been murdered tonight. He was poisoned by some enemy of his. And we're here on a special task by invitation of your king. By invitation of the king. I am with the House of Lond in the Western Kingdom. I serve under Sir Algrim, who will arrive in a matter of a few days. But we seek favors, per se. And I understand favors in turn for favors. But yes, anything that you would need us for, we'd be more than happy to oblige you with in turn for favors.
He tosses the letter in his hand just a little bit as he ponders the news you have given him. Says, Daruna is dead,
Yes.
and you have no idea who perpetrated it.
No, with his last breaths, he mentioned the king and Saronicus. And Saronicus is why we're here.
Understandable.
I understand.
His
Daruna.
group has been.
Sorry, please.
His group has been. His group has been troubling the major cities for quite some time. There was an effort to put some insurrection down within the city of Giva to the southeast of here. But after that, he's gained a lot of support. His followers have gained a lot of support within the cities.
Yes, and that is partially why we're here. At the invitation of your king is to help address this. I understand Daruna was not a very clean politician.
How many of them are? He kind of chuckles.
From what your son says, you are one. Again, it is common for a son to speak favorably of a father. And I have a mind is gone blank. But yeah, delivering that letter for your son. And that if you need anything or need anything taken care of quietly, to seek us out. We're staying at an inn here in town, and I'll tell him the name. You never gave us one, but we'll tell him the name. But yeah.
Well, thank you. I will, of course, keep your services in mind. Please have a seat while I peruse this letter.
All right.
You may have yourself a refreshment while I read. He opens the letter and
I believe, given the recent turn of events with the last person that offered us wine, I will decline that as well.
Understandably, you did not mention how Daruna was killed.
We said,
or did it slip my ears?
I believe it may have slipped your ears. But he was poisoned, very clearly poisoned. We believe it was the wine, as he had begun to sip upon it, and then began to fall.
Makes me want to get rid of my various vintages now, and that makes me a little sad.
I would
He speed reads the letter.
I'd recommend
And-
instead having them tested.
Well, it appears you are telling the truth. My son speaks rather favorably of you,
Well, thank you.
and does seem to corroborate some of your story. Is there anything else I can do for you currently?
This was not so much a favor for you as it was a favor for your son, so I do not ask a favor from you. Only that you
Understandable.
keep us in mind.
I will.
Oh, and that you do not mention us coming to you. We're here, but not here. When
I'll
Sir Algrim
inform
arrived, go ahead, please.
I'll inform my staff that you had not come in this evening, and I did not have this conversation.
Thank you. But when Sir Algrim comes, and you will recognize him, he's a very distinct individual. He'll be very different looking than the most people that you see around here, I assume. He will, if he mentions us, corroborate and say that we have came to you. If he does not, do not mention it.
Understood. He calls in the page, says, "Please take them out the special exit. They never came here. Nor have you ever seen them before." The page agrees, and you are led farther into the complex and let out a small tunnel in the basement, and you come out several blocks over from a nondescript looking set of houses, and are thrust forth. The door closes behind you.
Highly hence.
I would guess then that we'd go back to our rooms, and I will speak with my retainers and find out what they have found out for us.
And if we have enough time, Trey could teach me speak with animals.
I can
Okay.
certainly do that, and we can talk to my animals.
All right, so you go without incident. There is a moderate amount of uproar this late in the evening because a word of Councilman has fallen ill and might die sometime in the next few days. Seems to have been getting around. You make it back to the hotel, and you were met with Eric, Alan, and Richard. Eric says, "Man, so Fredrick, it's good to see you're back. Have you heard the news?"
Not here. Not here. To the rooms.
Okay, you go upstairs and you enter Sir Frederick's room.
Yes, we were present. The councilman is dead. He's not dying. He is dead.
How did that happen?
We suspect poisoning.
We
Um,
killed him.
No,
No,
no.
no.
What have you found out?
Saronica seems to be doing a lot within all the cities. There's a lot of faction support for him. There's been a move to cover up various monuments and murals and artwork that have been staples for a long time in a lot of the cities, and some of the councilmen and are both puzzled by this. Some support it. It's unclear as to why, but many of the older citizens seem to think that it has something to do with the new faction that Saronicus represents.
Okay. Anything else?
Other than that, people seem to get quiet when you start mentioning Saronicus, and the only after a lot of gold exchanged, which you don't have to reimburse me for at all. was able to even get that amount of information out of anyone here.
As an aside, I just realized the way that he said Eric, Alan, and Richard make it spell ear. If you take the first letter of each one. Sorry.
I hadn't thought about that, but now I cannot unthink about it.
It will now haunt him.
It will, because that's the order that I have them written in my notebook. All right. With that, I'll say, all right, well, for the night, sleep lightly. We are newcomers in a city that...
If you want me to cast alarm, I'll do it.
Yes, but we're all in separate rooms.
Do you want me to put it? You want me to like put it in a central location? It has a 1 mile radius.
No, I think we will be okay.
So you don't want me to cast alarm then?
I mean, you can cast alarm where you wish to cast alarm.
Oh, okay.
Your business.
Okay, so I'll cast it. Let's see. By a space that's equally distant from most of the rooms, but if I have to, closer to your room, actually.
Okay.
And it was specifying that your retainers or any one of us or anyone non-hostile to us can't trigger it.
Okay.
If I can do that.
No. But for ease of reference, let's just say the night passes, the alarm is not triggered. You wake decently well rested. All right, it's the next day. What are you all doing?
Is that how I think it is?
Two weasels.
Probably. It's almost. You hear the sounds of animals coming from Tritskala's rooms. You don't really want to ask why. You can probably figure out why. And some of the people who walk by are wondering why, just a little bit. Reinforcing any and all stereotypes of lizard men throughout the world.
Good.
What should we do today?
Well,
I would like
if any of you are going downstairs to where the food and the general sitting area are, I need you all to make a... Whoever's doing that needs to make a perception check.
I'll definitely go downstairs. 21.
Okay.
Yeah, downstairs.
After I summon my animals.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Wait, 16-8. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Tuscala does not notice, but Fredrick, Jowan, and Lundgren notice that there is a familiar individual sitting in the sitting area.
Is it Toadspore?
I was going to say the same.
Not Toadspore.
Oh shit! Who is it?
It is a small, almost teenage child.
I don't like this.
Oh dear.
Bitch, I can't make it won't let me make a perception check. Roll 20s being way.
Let's just say you were with them.
Yeah.
And they point this kid out to you.
Let's go sit with our new friend.
Okay.
I'm silently contemplating if I can cast Hold Person or not.
Don't worry about it yet.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Man, you all are expecting me to like do some James Bond crap and he's here to murder you all in your sleep, or this is the last straw or some sort of thing. It's fantastic.
You recognize him from before I joined?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was watching us when we came back into town after we got the letter from the kid or the son to give to the dad.
You want me to just walk up and grab him?
No.
No, we're gonna go sit down with him. Let's do this civilly first. Alright. I go sit down.
You're up.
Good morning, friend. You seem to be
Good morning.
popping up everywhere.
Oh, it is my job. Perhaps you'd like to talk somewhere else. Kind of steeples his fingers like a kid pretending to be an executive.
Okay. Let's retire to my quarters.
Hmm.
That's not weird.
The whole party is coming. The whole party.
Dude, that
That's
doesn't
even
make it any
weirder.
better. And we have, what was it? 2 wolves and what?
2 weasels and a wolf.
2 weasels and a wolf.
And a
All
lizard
right, so you.
Wasn't
So
that like South Park going up somebody's butt or something?
anyway, so he gets up and he proceeds to your room without any prompting from you.
Yep, he was fucking watching me. This is creepy. Okay. Once we're in, I'll close the door. After everyone's in, I'll close the door. I'll lock it.
Just close the door and everyone coming after you.
No.
All right, so
Okay,
yes,
everyone's in, yeah.
everyone's in.
Close the door, lock it, and just turn. Why are you following us?
Because it is my job.
He's a flippin' changeling.
I don't think he's a changeling.
Yeah, if did Lundgren shout that out loud?
It was
He's
more
He's
of a,
most likely either a changeling or he's a disguised rogue.
I'll cast it more of an aside so I don't look like a total idiot.
Who do you work for?
I work for myself and for my own interests.
Okay, then what can we do to help you?
Well, you can get rid of Saronicus if that would be within your abilities, but I highly doubt it is.
Like the person or the organization? Because you got to be specific.
Both, if I had my way.
Well, we're working on one and hoping for the other.
Let's back up a tad. I might ask, who the hell are you really, and why are you
Fair point.
following us?
Fair point.
I am Zulthar. I am forced to do business within this realm, much to my own chagrin, but I'm making the most of it.
Okay, why did you seek us out, Zulthar?
Well, you had business dealings with one of my associates.
Daruna.
One of his agents.
Maybe not.
No. You know them as Naki.
Yeah, he does.
One of his agents.
Rather shifty fellow.
What?
Okay, so what?
Number one now.
Well, he is a pawn within a game in the shadows, but he did ask me to deliver something from his employer from his official employer to his unofficial employer to have something tested for you.
From what? Tested for me.
Well, not you specifically. I'm sure you want to know who killed Runa.
Oh, yes. We want to know that.
Well, I'm here to retrieve you. For that individual to inform you.
I'm sorry, so are we going somewhere?
Oh,
Because I haven't had breakfast yet.
Can I eat real quick? Or
You may.
okay, so we can eat real quick. Okay, cool. Has he changed his appearance?
No, he is. He looks like a slightly older teenager now, but he's still young teenager.
Okay.
He just has a kind of youthful face.
All right, we'll be. You want to join us, or do you eat?
If I have the mood to, but I don't need it to sustain myself like you mortals.
Well, do you have the mood to?
I mean, why not?
Okay, let's go have some breakfast.
Okay.
Okay.
You go downstairs. You have breakfast. He resumes the small kid voice because you know.
Creepy as shit. Just saying.
You have a nice breakfast. It's not what you're used to. It's more Middle Eastern flavored. A lot of flatbreads and sauces.
That sounds good.
It does, doesn't it? It's not in the Western Kingdom. You probably get more sausages and like toast and things like that. Maybe a little bit of grits. This is more of flatbreads and sauces and a few other things. Some rice too. Why not?
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say beer.
No.
I mean, if you want.
This is more of a meat.
This is not a conducive.
This is more of a meat area.
I gotcha.
This is not a conducive environment for making beer. Just saying.
Oh, the desert area? Yeah.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Or mead.
True.
Yeah, their things would definitely be like wine.
Wine, hard liquor.
And yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we eat the breakfast. And as we finish, like, all right, let's go. Zulthar.
Does Zulthar tell us what he is if he's not a human? Which he seemingly
Elton ask.
is. I was gonna see if we could
I wasn't
do
gonna
that without
broach
asking.
I wasn't gonna broach that subject yet.
I mean, because I was just wondering, but I wasn't gonna ask him because that's rude.
Anyway, we'll wait and see what happens, and let's go where Zulthar is taking us.
So, you are led by Zulthar through various winding streets to what appears to be an even less desirable part of town than you were before. This is not the political district, by the way. You were brought in. You go down into an out-of-the-way shop, shall we say. And you were led into a back room. In it,
oh dear.
Another kind of office-like area. It's a little bit larger than the ones you've been in before, and it seems to be like it was converted from a couple of things like a small laboratory, also with a study kind of built into it.
A laboratory, you say?
Yes.
Is he alone?
There is an individual. There are actually several individuals within this room.
Other than the guy that's with him.
There is 3 to 4 individuals and one who seems to be in charge. This man is dressed in a coat that appears to go just below his knees. It's a very nice plum color with some golden flecks around the wrist area. Very well put together, kind of like a small waistcoat underneath. Long brown hair tied in a ponytail in the back.
Oops.
So he's practically Willy Wonka.
Brock almost murders somebody because he misrolled.
I don't need to heal anybody, do I?
No, that doesn't happen.
Okay.
In his mind, it does.
All right, Zulthar, who are we here to speak with?
I'm imagining Zulthar's death.
Exactly.
You are here to talk with him. And he points at the individual behind the desk, the one just described, and he leaves the room, closes the door.
Okay. I will sit down if there's a chair.
There is not.
And then we will stand.
The only chair in this room is actually behind the desk, which is the individual is currently occupying.
You sent for us?
Why, yes, I did. He gets up. Greetings to you. My name is Holesborn.
I'm sorry, say again?
Holesborn?
Could you spell that?
Holesborne.
Okay. And what can we do for you, Mr. Holsborn?
Well, I would like to thank you for delivering me that lovely package. I thought I'd repay you by informing you of contents of the wine that has so unfortunately removed such an upstanding member of society as Councilman Daruna.
I'm sure he is every bit of what you spoke.
Quite. Let's see. The mixture was a mixture of cyanide, formaldehyde, all sorts of things that make living an inconvenient proposition. There is one individual, and then the shadowy underbelly, if we refer to it as such, who uses this. They appear to be more than recently in the employ of an individual by the name of Saronicus. He spits off to the side as he mentions the name. Beyond that, I'll give you just a little bit of information. This individual has been working quite closely with people within the palace. And as I am a very legitimate businessman within the confines of the Oasis, this concerns me greatly because Sarunicus appears to be having interests that how you say counter to my business propositions. Huh?
Okay. And what would you like for us to do about this?
I would like for you to take care of any problem, to research what may or may not be going on within the palace. I have heard rumblings of foul play within the palace grounds, and that there might be a significant power shift in the near future.
What sort of a shift?
Now, only much as you need to know, you will be told.
And speaking of a coup, probably a coup d'etat.
As this is going on, the door bursts open, and several individuals proceed into the room, and you see walking in a familiar red-headed individual with a cane. At this, Mr. Bourne pulls out more of these strange, small metal tubes with wood attached to them, and several of his associates also pull these out and point them at the individuals who have come in.
This keeps happening.
Real quick, this gentleman with red hair. Who is he?
Yes. He is Fatty Sweet Tea.
I was going to say it was
Good
a
day to
Nestor,
you.
but okay.
Good day to you, Mr. Bourne.
Turn around. Real quick, just turn around. Thaddeus, what are you doing here? And if you're going to come here, why did you have me deliver it for you?
Oh, I have to have circumspect methods of getting my goods transferred. I can't have them travel with me, especially if I get detained. This is more of a gift to, smooth things over before we have an official meeting.
Who, this, out of turn, how many people did he walk in with?
There are two that walked in before him, and there are probably a couple more outside. And there's at least one other that followed him in.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like with Holes and him and their crews, about what, 10 people?
Holzborn has 4, including himself, and there is about 9, including Thaddeus.
Okay.
Okay.
So
With
he
an
has,
untold number outside.
oh, so it could be more than 10, could be 12 or more than that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. I will somewhat position myself almost between Holspore and Thaddeus Sweet Tea. Again, just look at Thaddeus and say, what are you doing here?
Wrong accent. I'm here to conduct business.
I understand that portion, but this seems oddly suspect. Us arriving and you arriving at the same time. What do you need
Well,
of us?
I have been following you. For the most part. What better opportunity to have a nice discussion with my associate over here and all of his black brain ingenuity than to have a nice neutral party in between.
I wouldn't say I'm neutral. I don't know either of you, which means I don't trust either of you, which means I'm not exactly neutral.
You're about as neutral as it gets in our business, to be honest.
Okay. Are we going to do this civilly or how are we doing?
Otherwise,
Yes.
Well, despite my rather abrupt entrance, I would prefer to do this civilly, like gentlemen. You see, Holzborn kind of roll his eyes at this. And then why do you insist on breaking into my establishment, insulting my job, and trying to scare the living? I do not even know what to call it. Out of everyone in here, while I am conducting business. That is just kind of shrugs.
I'll just step in between again. All right, let's do this civilly then. Mr. Holzborn, you put down your weapons, have your men put down their weapons or at least put them away. Thaddeus, how about this? Thaddeus, your men go outside. Holzborn, your men go outside. We stay here as the neutral third through seventh party, and you guys conduct business.
That sounds commendable. Gentlemen, he holsters the weird metal pipe, and as do the others. Thaddeus also motions to his men.
Also,
They leave the room.
Mr. Holzborn, real quick, where could I find some of those? And what do you call?
These are referred to as flintlocks. Many call them pistols, the smaller ones. There are a number of places within the Eastern Kingdom where you may purchase some. They are rather expensive, but they are becoming more common.
can they be easily made?
It takes about 6 different craftsmen to make one. They are refining the process.
Okay.
And the ones we have are stolen state secrets.
Okay.
Very well. Okay. All right. Gentlemen, conduct business.
Okay, so they Holzborn summons to have a couple of chairs brought in. And he and Thaddeus sit down and they begin discussing various trade routes that they want opened, not necessarily favorably. There's a little bit of back and forth. I'm only doing this because I don't want to switch between 2 completely different accents and mess it up. There's a bit of give and take, and they come to an agreement. This takes a couple of hours. You are absolutely bored by these proceedings. It's kind of like an underworld, just like an underworld
Chess
staff
match.
meeting. and there seems to be enough of a agreement between the two parties that they resolve any problems they might have had in the past and agree to do more business in the future.
So no blood.
Yet.
Well, good, because
I mean, the businesses might include some blood. You don't know.
I mean, blood at this location that anybody would be responsible for cleaning up.
No. With that, I'll ask Mr. Holsborn. You mentioned a gentleman working for Saronicus that is in the palace who concocted this poison. What is his name?
I only know him by reputation, not by name. He prefers to work anonymously from what I can, and he has defied any and all attempts at me to learn his name, which is quite annoying.
Do you know what he looks like, how he dresses, any mannerisms? Does he walk with a limp?
Well, I would not say anyone walks with the limp, but the limp is actually quite an interesting individual working out of Giva. But any assassin worth his salt would not obviously be easily recognized, otherwise that kind of hurts business. Although I heard he is working with Miss Jackson at one point, and that she may know more than I.
Where
Do
can
you know we can find Miss Jackson? Yeah.
I can arrange a meeting, but it might be a couple of days from now.
And what would it cost us?
100 gold?
That is a bit much for us.
Do you take checks?
How about this instead, Mr. Holsborn?
How about 25?
2,500 gold?
Mr. Holsborn, how about this? We acted as the mediary for your business dealings. That surely is in turn of a favor of yours. If not, perhaps we could do a favor for you in turn after we have this meeting with Miss Jackson.
I think I can arrange that. It does seem to be quite a fair trade. Certainly does for me. Don't know why we're still sitting here, but
Was that
I'll have
Thaddeus?
my leave now. He gets up. Thaddeus gets up and kind of pushes out of the way because he's no longer doing business right now, and he, work's over. Time to go do something else. He leaves.
Thaddeus, before you go,
Yeah.
please stop following us. You already know where to get us, where to find us. Should you need anything.
I'll be sure to keep you on the official preferred list for our businesses, and if I need anything else, I shall reach out to you if need be. Both on this side of the inland sea or the other. I plan on being here for several months. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think I need to cash in a favor with Councilman Fairfax. Does anyone have anything else they want to do, or do you just want to go see Councilman Fairfax?
Oh, I could try to make, let's see, a set of
If you're
perfume
gonna try to make
with my
meth?
alchemy supplies. No. If I'm ever going to do that, I would just make acid.
Let's make a nice.
Uh,
Let's make a nice perfume.
Yeah. So that would be
We could give a good gift.
intelligence and dexterity, was it?
Was.
Okay. For the love of God, that's terrible.
Those are saves. Those are saves. He needs to just do a regular check, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just a regular check.
Okay,
And,
so
Just click the name in like the ability section, where your ability scores are. Click the names there.
okay, so
Well, he is proficient. He is proficient. So
Okay.
could have advantage.
You make something that is well crafted, but it smells slightly better than Limburger cheese. It's not
Okay.
as good as the stuff that you did before, but it's borderline repulsive.
You know
okay,
what?
so I'm gonna file that under terrible perfume.
Do we have like a really nice perfume?
I do.
I
Yeah,
believe
I have
so.
a bottle of 100 GP perfume I made last session.
All right, then.
Oh, then we're gonna go see Miss Jackson. That's right. Ladies love that stuff.
Well, we need to get entrance to the palace first. I was thinking Councilman Fairfax could get that for us, but we may need to give him a gift. We'll save the gold for Miss Jackson. Well, no. Holdsborn is making the appointment with Miss Jackson for us.
Okay.
So let's use the perfume for Councilman Fairfax, and then we can figure something else later for Miss Jackson.
Okay, I will take that off my list.
All right.
Okay. As you're doing this, the kid comes back in and says, I need you to go back to the hotel as quickly as possible. I
Why?
have been informed that your employer is coming into the city and he needs to know where you are.
All right. Thank you very much. I guess we'll head to the tavern or hotel.
Make your way back to the hotel with the help of Zoltar, who you're still very uneasy about because of the switching of his personality and vocal cords at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, it's concerning.
Um,
It's very concerning.
Anyway, you are left at the hotel that you had been staying at for quite some time. And a messenger comes and who's been apparently running all around town, checking all the hotels, and looking for a Sir Fredrick. You are informed that Sir Algrim has indeed come to the city, and he is going to be meeting with the king later on today, and he would requests your presence at said meeting.
Okay, no problems. I'll thank him. I'll send him on his way, and I guess we'll head that direction then.
Okay. You come upon Sir Algrim's retinue. The House of Lan's sigil with his indicating that he is there, prominently displayed in front of him, very similar to the introduction in Aladdin of Prince Ali to
Their music.
it's kind of the same fanfare, but a little less. Obviously, there's probably 20, 30 people in the retinue and not hundreds.
Fair is fair.
Prince Ali, handsome as he.
Yep.
Yes, very much. Although you would not say that Sir Algrim is as handsome as he, but he is not that bad.
Okay, let's
On a scale of 1 to 20, probably about
On a scale of 1 to 20, Sir Algrim is probably a solid 14 or 15, while Ali would probably be a 17 or an 18.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Let's join the.
Let's be honest, he's probably a 17 or 18 by dwarf standards.
That's fair.
Fair. All right, let's join in the procession.
Watch your dwarven wives, lady or gentlemen.
I will come up alongside him, and so that he knows I'm there, and accompany him with the rest of the party too.
He leans over and he whispers in your ear, no matter what happens in there, do not do anything. The Dervish King is known for his tricks and his magic. He might try to provoke a response. I've heard reports that he's more volatile now than ever before.
Okay. Noted. I will disseminate this information to the party.
Okay. So you're led into this truly awe-inspiring palace sector, which is equal parts Taj Mahal, but the size of like Rushmore a bit. This is an immense work of engineering and just splendor all over the place. Very, very prominent. It has the four onion turrets, kind of almost like it's the Kremlin, but not. And you see, I need to get you guys back to the city. Come on. You the palace is a squared off area, and it has a circular central kind of fortress in the middle of it with these four turrets on top, and then there's like a much taller central one, very similar to Agrabah now that I think about it. But with these absolutely enormous doors, like taller than the average house, just open up without a sound and let the party in.
Sounds like dwarven craftsmanship to me.
I mean, you're going to a place with a guy called the Dervish King. There's got to be a little bit of magic in here.
Sure.
You're led to the throne room, which is where he takes, obviously, all important visitors, and there is this enormous staircase that leads up to the throne. You see a dark-complexioned, bearded man, very adorned in a turban with all sorts of jewels and things, and he's sitting there surveying the entire group. And you, being considered servants of Sir Algrim, are placed on the right-hand side of him in a small little group and of mid status. And I believe it's a Nestor.
Tall, red-headed dwarf man or elf man.
Yes, the kind of peppery elf of the Stone Syndicate. Yeah. If I could just find that part of my notes so I can check my own character list.
Yeah, that's right. Nestor is the elf, old elf, and Jowan's like overseer.
Pretty much the what we would consider department head, for like a better
boss.
Term. Yeah, the boss man.
So we're like
the boss man for his division.
Oh yeah.
You are like within the palace grounds right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there like what the hell am I trying? Like a front desk or something?
No, we're in the palace. Like
we're in front of the king right now.
Oh, we're
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You are currently
at the base of a massive stairwell, or
there's a large set of stairs that lead up to the throne that the Dervish King is currently sitting upon.
Okay, them yet, have we?
I don't know if we should just walk right up the stairs, or it seems.
If we're the servants, we should probably stay put as far as that goes. I would say.
Yeah.
So
well, Sir Algrim is standing 10 to 20 feet from the base of the stairs, and he is the most prominent of your party, and if he's not allowed to approach that close, it'd probably be a very bad idea to walk up the stairs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Okay. That's helpful.
I start walking. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
You are immediately shot down from 30 different places, and you look like a porcupine.
oh no.
Hey guys, we got a new
With
animal
your
form.
I don't have one
Your
more
last-
spell slot.
As in your last act on Earth, you pull one of the things from the bag, and it turns into a weasel.
That'd be terrible.
No, that does not happen. That's the alternative. What goes on.
In some alternate universe, it happened, but not this one.
Some alternate universe, yes. Where
terrible.
did I put that? That's anyway. So there it goes, in Nestor. Yeah. Sir Algrim begins this big, political speech, talking and ingratiating himself and praising the king and how he, why he's here. And he drones on and on. Despite the fact that he is a good orator, you just cannot focus, Fredrick. Because deep in the back of your head, you just hear this kind of continuous little mutter of, kill him. Kill him.
I can't even make a wisdom save or anything like that.
The sword is almost part of you now, so you can't resist.
Well, wait a minute. So no, I can differentiate. I can differentiate. Let me find his fucking name. Rard's voice.
Okay, you try not to kill my guild leader guy, because...
Hold on.
He didn't say who him is. We have to...
Is this Rard's voice?
It does sound like Rard's voice.
It does sound like?
It's not pushing you. It's just kind of a suggestion, like somebody's just kind of sitting there with you, not really egging you on, but kind of like, wish he would.
I will take note of that, and I will ignore it.
Well, first of all, I mean, I wouldn't know this information because it's inside Frederick's head, but we also have to determine who him is.
I'm going to assume it's probably the king.
That's what I was assuming, but I mean, the dervish king, like the devil king, people think he's probably half a nut.
If it's Rard, then that means that someone in the chambers is a member of Seronicus.
Yep.
But let's just see what happens. Let's see where it's going.
Are you a strength-based fighter?
What?
Your character, is he strength-based?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the baseline strength.
Just because I have to like
class.
tackle you.
Yeah, no, he's strength-based.
Okay.
Well,
someday that battle royale's happening. What was that, Jowan?
I'm at like my hour mark for another smoke.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. We could technically end here and leave it on this nice cliffhanger.
What a cliffhanger!
See what happens.
Oh
yes.
Do it.
As the urging gets a little bit more desperate, we'll cut off here and we'll catch you all next week. Hopefully with still sound internet, to find out what happens in the Dervish King's throne room. We'll catch you next week.